This is Dabu7. We have a situation unfolding in Mexico that I think all of us need to pay attention to. Because the mainstream media is not mentioning it, or the radio, or the people around you, it doesn't mean that there's not something huge going on there. What we have witnessed is that the UN has been sent in, and they are backing the National Guard military inside of Mexico. And now, this new unit that they have put together, they are using them to go to airports, and they are using them to enforce the use of taxis in the correct way. It goes to show that in this country, they will roll out the military in any given instance to do anything now that they are backed by the UN. Now, they will not speak too much of the UN. They let it be known they're there, but they're not trying to make a big deal out of it or show anyone what's really happening. But what we now see is all of a sudden they have taken this Mexican military, the National Guard, nationalized guard, different than ours. It's set up and operated completely different than what we have here. But it's backed and being overseen by the UN. And they put them where? At our southern border. Most Americans oblivious to it. Now, everyday life, they're rolling out at all these airports armed military. So could you imagine? Everywhere you go, every airport you visit now, there's going to be armed military everywhere. That's the environment now being created in Mexico. So forget narcos and big gangs and all this other stuff that are, taking people and drugs and smuggling them across the border. They have a new target. Uber and taxis and everything else. My question is, what is next? I'm beyond the underlying issue here of what's going on with Uber and all that stuff on the ground there. I'm talking the bigger picture. Where do they go now? Next, are they going to be at Walmart standing around? I mean, these are things people need to be asking and paying attention to, in my opinion. Or not. Just go on everyday life till you walk outside and, the mailman's got an AK-47. He's National Guard too now. And you have to ask yourself, are you living in a police state? Well, anyhow, that's the latest.